Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Flox. We are back on YouTube with our first dungeon video of Season 2. This is going to be a 13 Priory as AF, and I am going to be doing commentary throughout this video, similar to how I did in Season 1, where I'm just going to be explaining things I'm doing, like rotational stuff, or just general tips to know as a Warlock. My talents are on the screen right now. A couple quick notes about the talents. So I do have the new 4-piece, which is why I am running Shadow Bolt instead of Drain Soul. Drain Soul cannot proc the new tier set, so that's why I'm not running it. And then I am running Xavius' Gambit just because it gains a lot of value with the new tier set also instead of Malevolent Visionary. So if you don't have the new tier set, just run Drain and Malevolent Visionary. That's completely fine. So we'll get started with the commentary. If you guys do find this video helpful, if you enjoy it, please definitely leave a like on the video, leave a comment, or subscribe. It really helps me out a lot, and I would really appreciate it. So we are going to just run up here and pull a nice big pull with Lust here, pull 1. I am actually going to slow this one down really quick so you guys can see like how I'm opening up. So as we're running up, we are throwing out some agonies just to start shard genning on the stuff back here. On these two sharpshooters, they do not initially run into the group, so I'm just going to throw a manual wither on them so I can start damaging them. Once I do that, I'm going to swap over to one of these two knights. The knights are the prio target here. They do a nasty bleed and a very big AoE damage ability. So you want to burn one of these down as quickly as you can. The pull gets way easier once one of these two die. So you see I got my dots out. I'm going to swap to the knight, and we're going to set up our burst now. So the way I'm going to do that is seed. Also, really quick, you see I got a bleed on me. I am dwarf, so I could just dwarf it off. This is a bleed. Very helpful. So back to setup, we're going to go to seed, haunt. I'm going to UA. Throw down a vile taint. At this point, we're going to Malevolence, Soul Rot, Dark Glare, Trinket Potion, and then just go into Rapture Spam. You're going to see I throw in some Shadow Bolts really quick, and I'm just doing that to get Shadow's Embrace on because I really want this to die as soon as possible. The faster we kill this, the more chance we have of living. So now comes the AoE Shout. For this, you want to make sure you definitely press defensive, so either pact or wall. I think wall is a little more helpful because it's gonna be like a back-to-back shout. So you're gonna see I got my wall off. We do have a barrier here, which also helps. Also, quick little thing that will interrupt your spell casting and lock you out of spell casting, so you want to make sure you stop casting before that goes off. Yeah, we got that knight killed, so I'm going to swap to the other knight now. Make sure I haunt UA, make sure it's all dotted up. And start tossing out some more raptures here. And the pack is pretty much dead at this point. Alright, cool. So I just wanted to do that pull in slow motion just so you guys can kind of see what a setup looks like. It's always generally the same: seed, haunt UA on a prio, and then vile taint, send your cooldowns, etc. It's pretty much almost always how you're going to set up. I got a bleed here left over. Which kind of sucks, but whatever. Healer's healing me. So we're going to go on to the next pull here. I'm going to be priming the mini-boss, Captain Guard Suleiman. Just because he has the highest health, takes forever to die. So I'm holding Vile Taint for a second, just because I want to line it up with Soul Rot and Malevolence. There was like 10 seconds left on Malevolence. So I was just figured it'd be okay to hold this for like 10 seconds. It's not a big deal. In the meantime, while you're holding Vile, what you can and should be doing is just throwing out like 3 or 4 agonies, just so you can make sure you have some shard gen. Don't just sit there, no agonies up. waiting for Vile. You're not gonna have shards once your CDs come up, and you're gonna be really sad. Yeah, here we're outside cooldowns now, so I'm just maintenance dumping some raptures, making sure my agonies don't fall off. And we are continuing to make sure Captain Guard Suleiman has Haunt UA and Shadow's Embrace on him the whole time. I want to make sure he is full stacked with debuffs so that he dies pretty fast like he just did there. Right now we are just waiting for the new mini boss to come out. And here she comes. So this one doesn't do much except a leap that leaves a bleed. It's called Lunging Strike right here. So you see she leaps to me, I had a bleed, I just dwarfed it off. I knew I could dwarf it off, that's why I just stood there. You can dodge this jump. I'll try to like show you guys that. Look, right now I'm running and she has like a travel time. So if I'm standing out here and she leaps out here, I can like just walk away and dodge it and you won't get the bleed. I think one of these it goes to me and I just dodge it. Like I think it's, yeah, right there. See, I got no bleed. Just walk away. Other than that, we're just killing mini boss, keeping all our debuffs on. Could probably send a couple shards now, since I think we got to run to a pack. That's a good dodge there. But I'm just kind of holding shards, assuming we're gonna do a pull pretty soon. Maybe I can like hold, carry shards over to next pull. I don't know how I did not pull right there. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so we go to this pull now. I'm throwing some agonies out really quick so I can start shard genning. Knight is the prio again, so I'm going to try to stack all my debuffs on the Knight. Haunt UA, Shadow's Embrace, it's everything. Here comes the shout, so I'm going to pop a defensive. I had Dark packed up, so we're good. Same setup on this pull as always, just go into a seed. Haunt UA, Vile Taint, Soul Rot, Malevolence, etc. Dump with Raptures. But yeah, if you guys ever see me like walk up to a pack and drop a couple agonies really quick before I do, like I drop a couple agonies before I go into setup, I'm doing that just to get like shard gen rolling while I'm doing my setup. Usually you might be able to get like an extra shard or like maybe two if you're lucky, like right before you go into your cooldowns, which definitely helps. Also, like I frequently tag stuff with agony just to get myself into combat really quick. Because if you are out of combat, like let's say you have 5 shards and you're out of combat, you will lose 2 shards. Like your natural shard gen state is 3. So if you're out of combat with 5 shards, it will like lose 2 shards down to 3. If you go into combat, your shards will not go away. Like right now, if I go into combat, I will keep my 5 shards. That's like another little trick, so you don't lose shards. Here we had a really awkward pull, but we somehow managed to recover. Prio here is High Priest Amia. She's the mini boss, so I'm going to throw all my debuffs on her. Got a little setup here. This was kind of like this pull was a little all over the place, so my setup wasn't really the best. Just trying to make sure I help like kick and stuff. So if we die here, the key's over. Also making sure I'm just paying attention to my CDs and stuff so I don't die. But yeah, we had a good recovery here. This mini boss doesn't do much, just has a shield that reflects damage back to you, and a kick. Should definitely probably throw Curse of the Satyr on. Just to help slow with the kick cast time. So we're going to be doing this mini boss now by himself. I'm just going to send all my cooldowns into it. There's no point in sitting here holding everything. So again, you see me like just quickly tag with Agony first, and I'm just doing that to try to get Shard Gen rolling. After that, I just stacked all my debuffs, sent cooldowns, and dumped Raptures. Setup on single target is pretty simple, like you just haunt UA. Haunt, UA, Agony, Corruption, get all those up. Stack Shadows and Embrace really quick, and then send Vile, Malevolence, all that stuff. Like a very simple way to think of it is just have all your debuffs up before you go into damage. So here I'm trying to make sure I have like 5 shards going into boss. I always try to make sure I have shards going into next full, especially because I'm not playing Drain right now. If you're not playing Drain, you have to be very more aware of how you're shard pulling. Alright, so this is a 2-target boss. Pretty much you're just going to single target Dalecry and then you just get free cleave onto Elena. Elena goes away once he dies, but they do share like health pool, I think. Like any damage you deal to Elena does count towards Dalecry. So you do want to make sure you're keeping Agony and Wither on her the whole time. But other than that, that's really all you need to do. Just focus completely on Dalecry. He does, like, I think 2 mechanics. There's a pounce that you want to press a defensive or like a heal when he goes on you, and a kick. I have them both cursed, so helps with kicks. Elena does a Radiance. For that, you just want to make sure you have a defensive up. Usually it's like the Radiance overlap with the pounce. That's pretty deadly. I am saving potion here because we're doing a pretty crazy pull after this, so I want to make sure I have as much damage as possible. Also, I do send Vile Taint off cooldown. Sometimes I will not send this off cooldown if I have like 1 shard. Like I will just hold it because I want shards for when my CDs actually come up. I think that's more of an issue of like me probably just not pulling properly though. Like, I'm pretty sure you should be sending this off cooldown. So you see I'm holding cooldowns. Like I said, we are going to be doing a crazy pull next, so I'm going to make sure I have everything under the sun available. I am actually just going to wait for Dark Glare at this point, and it's going to come up like a couple seconds into the pull, which isn't terrible. So I'm just getting some agonies out again to start shard genning. I'm not going to throw a vial until this is ready, so that's another reason I'm throwing agonies. Focus target on this pull is these paladins right here. Sorry to pause it. These paladins do a really hard AoE called Divine Toll or Sacred Toll. Right there, Sacred Toll. That's a really large amount of AoE. So you definitely want to kill one of those as soon as possible. I am throwing a vial really quick right there to start the pack, just because I want this to stay as synced up with Solrot and Malevolence as I can. So like as we were pulling this, I saw the cooldown on the cooldown on Malevolence was like around 30 seconds, so I was like mentally I'm like, okay, I need to send this ASAP. See, now they're like still pretty synced up. Like if you wait too long, at a point it just becomes pointless to press this, and you might as well just hold Vial Taint for cooldowns. Like if you wait too long. I would say like if you're holding this and you see Malevolence has like around 15 seconds or so left, like I don't think there's any point to send Vial. You might as well just wait at that point. Just throw on like some agonies in the meantime. But yeah, all these pulls here, you're focusing the paladins down. There's a lot of stuff to kick. Just help your group kick. Help stops with Shadow Fury. Make sure you are pressing defensives for those Sacred Tolls. And we're going to chain over here to this group. I'm going to throw my stuff on the Paladin. I have CDs coming up here, so I'm just kind of trying to set up for those really quick. CDs come up and I send everything. You can kind of just like shard, deplete your shards here. Like I could keep rapturing if I want to. Boss has like a little bit of RP. Alright, so this boss is... There's not a whole lot going on for us specifically, especially because we have a DK. So these hammers come out, you want to make sure you're stacked up with the group, so they all spawn at a similar point like this. And they just spread out in a nice pattern. So you're going to see here the DK just basically soloed the dot. Which is why I said there's not a whole lot going on for us. If you don't have somebody that can immune that dot, somebody has to go in and soak it, and it leaves a dot on you, a really nasty dot. So if you ever do go in and soak it, make sure you're pressing a defensive. And then, like I said, just group up for the hammers. Shields also spawn in a group. So pretty much you just want to stay grouped up with your party the whole time if you can. Stay as tightly stacked as you can. And then just dodge mechanics. So here I got cooldowns, everything's set up, got all my debuffs up. And I just send everything and start dumping some raptures. RIP Jujum. Everything dude, I swear everything kills your pets this season. Like, literally my pet's always dying. I don't understand why. Also, like, port is pretty helpful in this fight. I sometimes drop like a port in the center, like right here. I could have just ported out of these stupid circles. I actually just realized that mid-fight, so I went over here and dropped a portal as I said that. Gate is also maybe somewhat useful.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I think I fat fingered a button there and opened up the whatever that was. It was like a party window or something. Yeah, we got the boss down there, no problem. We got CDs up again. Again, I'm going to focus Paladin. We're going to set up with a Seed, Haunt. I have no shards here, so I'm going to like wait a couple seconds, hopefully get some shards. Maybe like a Tormented Crescendo proc, and then send. So I went up to 3 shards, had a proc of Crescendo, so I figured, okay, good enough to send. I didn't want to send with like no shards, so that's why I waited a couple seconds. As you guys can see, that Sacred Tool really hurts. Fat fingered the window again. No problem. It's all good. We killed the pack. This dungeon is really hard. This is probably the hardest dungeon in the pool right now. The timer is pretty tight, and all of the trash just really hurts. Like everyone, like the tank, party, everything. Very, very hard key. So again, we got tolls coming out. I haven't really mentioned this at all, but we have fought a couple of like these light spawns throughout the key. So they do this targeted channel thing, like you see this beam on me right now called Purification. If you're fighting this pack especially and you get this, you need to have something, or you're gonna die because of the overlap with Sacred Toll. So definitely make sure you have something available. Like Wall is really great, Hellstone. Dark Pact probably won't save you. But yeah, just be aware of that. And then also, the only other thing I want to mention about this purification is that if you are a night elf, you can just meld, and you will not take any damage from this at all, which is insane. Yeah, definitely you want to be very aware if that goes on you. I think they healed. Pretty sure. Let me see. Let me go back a second. Oh yeah, they did heal. Yeah, so this is mostly probably more of a tank mechanic. But like when the light spawn dies, if anything's in this circle, it'll heal up. You can't really do a lot to help him out with that, unfortunately. And actually, I don't even think these paladins can be CC'd, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, that's why we're still fighting them. That's also kind of like why you don't want to prio the lights, the light spawn elementals. If you kill them really fast, like before everything else dies, you might run into that problem where stuff's just gonna heal. On these packs, the paladins are hard focus. Like, do not tunnel the light spawn. It's like that old affix. I forget what it is. Not bursting. I guess sanguine. I think sanguine is what it was. Yeah, this is perfect. You see, we have the whole pack dead. Now he's dying, and boom, that's it. Nothing will ever get healed there. On this pack, I think I'm just throwing everything on this footman. I would probably focus like a mage on this pack, to be honest. Focus target a mage, just because these kicks are really nasty. They also have this ability, Fireball Volley. If that goes off, that's pretty much a wipe. So that's a big kick to watch for. You can also just stop it with like coil or something or whatever. Yeah, you see here we just healed stuff up again. I think we were putting a little too much prio into the light spawn. We had a lot of little silly mistakes this key, but we pulled through. That's all that matters. So this pack really hurts. This guy does just a constant pulsing AoE. And then you have the two kicks on top of it. So what makes it hard is that if any of the smites go off with like overlap with the tick, the AoE tick, somebody can get one shot. So very important, you help to stop these kicks. And you need to kick the heal too, so it's like you gotta pull everything out. Stops, kicks. Cursing, those two helps a lot. The problem with cursing on AF is that Vile Taint just overwrites your tongues. Still waiting for Blizzard to fix that. Maybe one day they'll get around to doing that. It's actually the most annoying shit. Yeah, I don't know why Vile Taint applies Cursive Exhaustion. I guess that's like a PvP thing, but I don't know. It seems just really useless and annoying in PvE. See, like I had a Cursive Tongues on this priest right here, and now it's just has Cursive Exhaustion on it. So that's cool. This pack, there's not a lot going on. There's just two things you need to kick. When these guys die here, they do like a little AoE explosion. It's like again, like one of those older affixes that used to exist. I think like bursting or something. So you kind of want to like stagger killing them if you can.
3, 2, 1.
There I popped Pact and Hellstone. Like I knew they were going to explode, and also the boss is doing like a pulsing AoE. Usually you're probably not going to pull this stuff onto boss. We had to do it because our timer's pretty tight. So you just need to be aware that like if these are going to die and she's pulsing AoE, you need to have like big defensives up or you're going to die. Probably like the priest probably didn't have a lot up.
3, 2,
When the boss has a
1.
blind, just turn away like this. Boom. It is literally what it says. It blinds you. I don't know if it does damage to you either. I think it does like a little bit of damage, but it just disorients you and you'll be standing here and you'll not be able to do anything.
3, 2, 1.
So at 50% she phases, we just go up the stairs. She does this pulsing AoE. Probably a good time to press the defensive button. We got a barrier here, so we're chilling. These ads can't really do a lot to them. If they do come up, so you see they're dying here by themselves, so you can just kind of like CC them and they'll just die. If they do somehow manage to come up, all you can really do is like throw a seed on them. Like right here, I'm gonna throw a seed, but you can see they're dying. Like the most optimal thing to do is just CC them.
3, 2, 1.
If those ads do get close to you, they can kind of just one-shot you. They don't really have threat. The tank can't really just gather them. They will just start running around chasing people. And one of them can slap you real quick and kill you. So yeah, just be aware of that. Don't just stand there and tunnel if you got one chasing you.
3, 2,
But yeah, this fight is pretty much rinse and repeat now. We're just dodging mechanics, watching blind, helping to kick, and then doing damage.
Three, two, one.
And there you go, dude. We got her done. That's a W. We'll take it. That's the key, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, if you found the video helpful, if you enjoyed it, definitely leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. All that stuff really, really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. But yeah, I will be posting more of these throughout the season. I will catch you guys in the next video. Take it easy.